Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, back with Galactic Battlegrounds. Oh yeah, I should show you guys the awesome title screen. Back with Galactic Battlegrounds. We tried recording and didn't record any audio, so that was great. So fun. We're going to try it again.
So we looked at the Gungans last time.
Gungans look really interesting. They have like a really cool shield and like navy, kind of cool stuff.
So
we saw a little bit of the Wookiees.
So let's do... there's a lot of boring looking people here. Well, what was the Confederacy in Star Wars, actually?
I don't know. Oh, okay. The Confederacy are the heavy droids, it looks like.
I thought that was the Trade Empire people.
So the trade, I think, is going to be strictly Episode 1.
Okay. I feel like that's an odd faction distinction to make.
Yeah. It is.
Okay.
Team, so that we can experience team bonuses and look at more factions.
Why not?
Yeah, so I guess I'll be with the rebels.
Of course.
That makes sense.
And we should do Naboo and the Trade Federation together.
Alright, sounds good. So I was able to handle easy pretty well.
Yeah, you kind of stomped them.
So I guess I should go up to moderate.
Why not? Okie doke.
Okay, so I'm infantry and mech. My goal is to build as many AT-ATs as possible.
Okay.
That sounds like a good goal.
Oh, it's like the
alright, so let's build a house. And these guys are gonna start gathering these.
Yeah, I was saying it looks very Endorian base architecture already.
Yeah. Especially with the scouts, right?
Right.
Alright, we already have a prefab, so let's go.
Can you build Siths? Is that what you do if you're evil?
Yeah, so I should be able to build Sith.
Yeah, you just got a robot guy already?
Huh?
Or is that your worker?
Yeah, workers are robots.
It's interesting that the kind of like the exoskeleton, like worker exoskeleton, is like the one kind of sci-fi thing that could actually exist.
Like the worker bot? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, like just, you know, like a strength enhancing exoskeleton.
Oh,
for lifting
yeah,
things.
like an SCV kind of thing. That's what you're talking about.
Right. Like pretty much a lot of sci-fi is based on complete nonsense, but like
Star Wars.
That's something very doable and very popular in sci-fi type settings.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars really isn't sci-fi. It's just fantasy.
Yeah.
There's not, I mean, yeah, again, we talked about this in the previous episode, I guess that's in air, but Lucas, like, was super interested, apparently, in doing all the midichlorian type stuff.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
But he shouldn't have been, because it was bad. But again, the reason he was interested in it was kind of more for sort of like mysticism type, like chosen one type lineage stuff.
Chosen one!
Which
yeah,
is not my favorite sort of trope in anything. Oh no, Rancor.
Yeah.
It's still just kind of funny to me that this is just like an Age of Empire map with
Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like Rancor is on a nice grassy plain.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, I mean, there's definitely even mechanical differences between this and Age of Empires. Like,
are there no other like map textures that are more spacey, or?
It looked like there were. I don't know if I just like didn't choose them, or how that works, but I'm pretty sure there's, you know, at least like the kind of like forest and desert kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're not just but it's kind of funny that you have just like a, so go send some robots to pick some berries like they Wooden Age empires.
Yeah. You still gotta get food, man.
Yep. As well, I'll end up repeating a lot of what we talked about probably last time, but
That's okay.
yeah, again, Marcus playing this. I'm not as into RTS games. I don't have a very orderly mind in general. I'd say that sometimes has advantages in strategy games, but it just comes at the cost of patience. I feel like I'm someone you don't really expect to win games, but you have to deal with.
I've always enjoyed playing, especially like board games and stuff with Sai, because he is always the guy that doesn't really worry about winning, but like just wants to cause as much chaos as possible. Which always makes the games more fun, I think.
You know, you have to make your own goals in life sometimes.
Isn't that so true in life?
Oh, so you have like only like a really small shallows area here. I guess it's kind of a 4 corners type map, this one.
Yeah, we're gonna see. It looks like, yeah, this is the only exit to my base that's not water. I'm just gonna see if I can go to my
Is your ally on the same area?
That's kind of what it seems like. We do need to build one more structure.
Space fish. See, it's like, if this was like a Tatooine type setting, even just like sands, okay. But it's just literally just the Age of Empires kind of plains texture. Yeah, so this game uses the Age of Kings engine, actually. So either they worked directly with the studio, or they just bought the engine, or I don't know exactly how rights for those kind of things work.
Oh, hey, they get astromech droids for workers, apparently.
That's fun.
That's a bit unfortunate. I like their houses, though.
Man, they got a lot of droids, huh?
Well, they have a lot of units already.
Shoot. Man, they're microing way better than you, Mark.
Well, I mean, it's generally not, like, super advantageous to get a lot of units in this early in the game, or at least in, you know, Age of Empires.
What the devil?
This is the Royal Naboo.
Okay. They got just like, what do you call that? That kind of Italian, what's that name? Everyone always references it. Anyway. Or just kind of European style houses.
I guess. Alright, so I'm definitely going to need this. See, I wanted to split these guys up.
Ah.
That was very shocking to you, apparently.
I didn't realize it was a meat animal.
So I'm going to get some troopers. Hopefully I can do like the equivalent of like an archer kind of rush. I'm also going to build a dock.
Yeah, docks seem like it might be more useful on this map. I feel like the sea game in the Age of Empires system is a lot more interesting than a lot of strategy games.
Yeah, I think so. It really reminds me of a game like, what's it called? Oh, cool. It really reminds me of a game like, crap, what's it called? Advance Wars? In Advance Wars, you had ship units, but it was very much like once you got kind of all of the ship units, then it was very hard to stop. So like, I guess the ship units like countered themselves in many ways. So you had the battleship, which was kind of the supreme unit on the sea. but they were very easily countered by submarines. And then you had submarines that were countered by cruisers, but then you had cruisers that were countered by battleships.
Okay.
So you really... Oh, my scout got destroyed.
Oh, no.
It's okay. I'll build one of these scouts instead. So I think it ended up being quite interesting to me that because you needed like really all of them in order to be useful in many ways.
You booped. Yeah. Yeah, Age of Empires, you had... you start with galleys. You essentially had galleys for a while, right? Galleys and galleons.
Yeah.
And then you get fire ships and...
Demo ships.
Demo ships. Demo ships were super strong.
Yeah, they were interesting. I don't think they were like really strong enough to like one-shot most ships.
I mean, the one-shot in a light ship, essentially, but they did like AoE damage, right?
Yeah, they did do that.
So if you use them on, like, if you didn't pay attention to where the demo ships were coming in, they could like immediately decimate a huge amount of your fleet. I think they were pretty decent against like buildings as well, so they're good for taking out docks.
Yeah, they were especially strong against buildings, for sure.
Yeah, Age of Empires, I feel like from an early... Even from the first game, put a lot more in Navy than a lot of... Well, I mean, the like actual distinction between like water and land battles is not something I guess a number of RTS games you can deal with.
Yeah.
You don't really have a split. It's just like all one sort of force that interacts with each other. In Age of Empires, you can very much have like several different fronts going on. But the Navy was never... I don't know, it's very map specific how useful it is.
Oh, I should be harvesting this green stuff. Oops.
A lot of the time it was just like a way to secure foods safely when you couldn't otherwise.
The Navy?
Yeah, because you
can fish.
Right. You can't do any other resources from the sea.
Right.
It's also useful... Well, really, a lot of the usefulness was just protecting transport ships.
Oh yeah, especially on like island maps, right?
Yeah, because transport ships are so useful in just securely getting a large force of units from one place next. You can garrison like eventually up to like 15 units at a time per ship. But the thing is, like, if the ship dies in the middle of the ocean, you lose everything.
Yeah.
So it's a very high risk, high reward strategy sometimes. I think if you just kind of like hug the shoreline though with them, you'll at least get a number of units back if the ship is destroyed. Kind of just however many you could actually fit.
Yeah.
The Gungan architecture was a lot more interesting than Imperial, but I guess Empire wasn't exactly known for its culture.
They're chasing me.
Did you ever get into the Star Wars Extended Universe stuff?
Not really, besides the games. +1 range, that's nice.
The games are kind of nice because they're very self-contained universes, for the most part. Or several of the games, I guess, not all of them. But like the Jedi Academy stuff, or Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, I really like Knights of the Republic.
They both didn't really rely overly much on the main series, which I feel like is a failure for most Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Story-wise. So they could kind of just progress as they wanted to outside of that.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I feel like...
Can I probably age up, no? I need more structures.
I feel like I appreciate... I kind of talked about this in a different way, but I appreciate being able to kind of strike out on your own and not rely on somebody else's setting entirely.
Yeah.
Sort of be able to construct a narrative fully and separately from like previous stuff. I get pretty bored with like sequels, to be honest, of most things. Especially if I feel like kind of a character's arc has sort of been told to me already. I don't necessarily need to see them do it again and again, which happens with a lot of sequels. Like, I didn't see the last Avengers thing. I got kind of bored of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. Now is when I start using all my carbon.
The farms mostly take carbon?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's essentially a convert carbon to food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was gonna age up. So I actually really like this little like airborne scout that you get as Empire.
Does it go over water?
Yeah.
That's nice. That's extremely nice for a map like this.
Yeah. I should build another barracks, I think.
So your last podcast was about Star Wars. That's why you're...
Yeah, that's basically why I'm playing this game. Okay, I can't get past these walls.
So this one came up in like Star Wars games you liked, or?
Yeah, so I played this game a ton when I was a kid, and I really, really liked it. I mean, it was basically Age of Empires, but I didn't even know really anything about Age of Empires when this came out. Like, I played this way before I played Age of Empires.
Yeah, Mark has always been big into like StarCraft.
Yeah.
I recently picked up Age of Empires. Mark just loves real-time strategy. It's like his favorite genre, basically.
Definitely.
You play a ton of Warcraft also, of course.
Yeah. Definitely mostly StarCraft, though. But yeah, now I'm getting into Age of Empires.
Yeah, I played actually quite a bit of Age of Empires as a kid, but not seriously.
They have a big army.
Yeah, they got little beetle dudes. Beetle.
They're Beetleborgs!
I was actually thinking of... What do you call those? Were they called Zergs? Was that a thing? Do you remember this? Like a mech animal thing?
What are you talking about? In what, I guess?
There's like some mech thing that was... Like back when we got random things translated to English, one of the mech shows was just a bunch of like lion type mechs that fought.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Are they called Zergs? Not Zergs.
Zoids?
Zoids. Zergs are aliens. They...
Yes, they consume. I mean, right now I'm only troopers, which doesn't seem like a very viable strategy, but...
It's a very Empire thing to do.
I guess just throw people.
Throw bodies at the problems.
I have so much ore. I need to do something with my ore. I should be able to build a castle or a fortress, and my fortresses are supposed to be better.
To like good defensive bases. It's interesting. I guess the first Star Wars movies, the trilogy. I wouldn't say you got a very diverse view of like Empire military stuff compared to what a lot of the prequels do.
Yeah.
The newer movies too have a lot more kind of interesting different ships and things going on that they added over time.
Definitely.
Like they have that like bombing ship in, was it The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I thought that was really strange more than anything. Like,
It's just a ship full of torpedoes essentially that was like a giant hazard to itself.
Well, the other thing about it was that, like, they already had bombers in, like, the lore? You know?
Don't you want something large and slow-moving and full of explosives?
Totally. It's interesting. You can't queue up infantry while you're upgrading.
Like they didn't have any sort of imperial tanks, right?
I mean, they had the walkers, the AT-ATs, the
Right.
AT-STs.
So they had walkers, but they didn't really have these kind of like actually useful, efficient-looking vehicles.
Like artillery? No, they didn't have that.
Yeah, you can buy Greedo.
Just generic bounty hunter.
What are those called? Rhodinians or something?
I don't know.
I always kind of wanted to play the Star Wars, like, Star Wars D&D, basically.
Yeah.
I was more interested in the world of Star Wars than the characters. Man, you murdered those guys. I didn't even look at them. They just died. I don't know, I mean, I cared about the character. I wouldn't say I cared about it more. I don't know, it's just like Star Wars has this universe that makes you want to think more about it than the actual storylines.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the extended universe suffers from, at least what I read about it, suffers from being reliant on kind of the main canon. And for one thing, it was like 20 years before any additional content happened for that.
Yeah.
So, well, obviously, like,
Oh, I'm at population limit.
it suffers in the sense that, like, a lot of it was just completely deleted because they were like, once Disney bought it, they were like, we're doing our own thing now, so
Right.
that can be your alternate canon now.
Oh, I can't shoot up.
Oh, that's a problem. Can your tanks not? Probably not, huh?
My artillery cannot shoot up, I don't think.
Well, just kill everything you can, I guess. But yeah, they would invent a lot of like weird characters for the extended universe that relied on relationships with the like main series characters. I feel like there's only so much you can actually do with that. Like, well, especially it's because it's kind of like how I view a lot of the comics industry's problems is you end up cycling through a ton of authors that are dealing with the same characters, right?
Yeah.
And so nobody has a definitive say on what they are, or, you know, principles and values and personality and relationships. And so they just become kind of like a blob of nothing. Or like more facade of like their most shallow attributes.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're dealing with your own sort of characters, and setting stuff and not really worrying about like what Han or Luke or whoever are doing, then it's just more cohesive. You have like a beginning and an end of a character arc. I like having that.
I bought some anti-aircraft. I actually really like these. I really like this model.
It's pretty fun. Again, not like efficient mode of transportation. I mean, wheels were pretty good, and there wasn't really a lot of need to improve upon them.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like you're just gonna run away with this one as well.
I mean, it was a little bit tougher, I guess. I reached the population cap.
And they've got a real long range defense on that.
Yeah.
Let's get your siege things that range. Yeah, you pretty much killed this character. A lot of health. What do your dark troopers do?
It looks like they're just
heavy
good.
guns.
Stronger than strike mechs, so I think they're supposed to be good against infantry. Strike mechs.
I see.
Yeah, effective against troopers.
Do you have different units that heal robot units?
I think you can just repair with like workers.
Okay.
That's actually not a bad idea. I like kind of the desperate attack that he has. Oh, we got more stuff. Cannon? I don't know what it is, but I want it. So now I think I can build, yeah, heavy assault mechs.
Haven't used any aircraft at all, have you?
I guess I'm too much of an Age of Empires player.
What kind? Do they have like actual alien birds flying around, or are they just like the? Oh, they are. Okay. I was like, it'd be funny if they were just like eagles from Age of Empires. Age of Empires is such a game of fortifications.
Did I build the thing? I built the thing.
Oh.
I don't know what it does yet. We're gonna find out. I really want to build heavy assault
Yeah, like
mechs.
the siege weapon dynamic in Age of Empires is very key to everything.
Yeah, like I was listening to something that was essentially saying that trebuchet are like the key to like all battle in Age of Empires 2.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah,
so this is actually
trebuchet.
generating food.
Huh.
So instead of slaughtering all of your people, all of your food source, you can
It's passively getting food.
passively gain food.
I think this might just literally be a trebuchet.
I think it probably is. Can you guys move through this yet? Okay.
Yeah, so trebuchets are interesting. They added them in Age of Empires 2, and they extremely long range. They outrange everything.
Yeah.
They are not accurate at all versus units.
Right.
Because they take, yeah, their shots take like forever to land, but they're extremely good at destroying buildings, and so that's your cannon.
Looks interesting.
Yeah, so it has a deployment time and
An undeployment time, essentially.
right. So yeah, you have to keep your trebuchet guarded. They're very vulnerable to like cavalry especially.
I mean, really anything.
Really anything, but yeah, cavalry just can get there fast and mess them up. Just kind of. They have a. They're not able actually to fire on anything within a.
Yeah, they have minimum range.
So.
Which is definitely a problem.
So you can't even like fortify them and just like try and pick things off near you. Ooh, that's a big dude. Yeah, pretty much late Age Empires is all about deploying and protecting and destroying trebuchets. Not that I really know professional Age of Empires play, but that's just kind of how it felt to me.
No, I mean, I definitely think that's accurate. I think it's one of those things that almost any strategy you do is going to have to be at least somehow dealing with
there were other siege units that were also good.
Yeah.
So I guess you didn't necessarily have to have trebuchets, and especially if you wanted a more mobile force, the like catapult type units were also more useful against groups of enemies.
Oh, this is an enemy.
Yep. Just passing by.
No, not you.
Yeah, so these tanks feel a lot more like how catapults are in Age of Empires. Not sure what the ATT. Whoa.
Looks like it has minimum range.
Maybe you should ungarrison.
I don't have any units in it.
Oh. Well, that's it. Too many losers.
Oh, they have Sith. And now they don't. Oh no, all my artillery. They actually have like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that actually went pretty badly for you.
Alright, I'll build an army. I mean, these things seem totally ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get them in behind a group of people, I think they would send them just directly to the enemy that's right next to them instead.
Yeah, right? Like, go that way. Oh, I did build this. I'm quite curious about how this works.
Bandits.
I won't use them yet, but that should be,
Oh, so did you ever learn about, like, what they're called banthas, right? Or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever learn about, like, what those actually are?
No.
And so they actually just dressed up elephants, I understand.
Okay.
So they're elephants in costume.
Interesting.
I found that, like, if that's, like, true, that seems not great ethically.
Yeah.
But I guess we had them in circuses at the time.
Yeah. There's probably worse things we've done in life.
Yeah.
And these take forever to build.
Times I build, maybe your walkers will be close by.
Bum, bum, ba-da-ba-dum. All the music stopped, apparently.
Guess so.
I don't actually need that.
So, I think,
Oh, my population limit's reached. That's a problem, because I don't have any yet here.
some games, they actually just had, I think, a track that didn't repeat. It was just a super long track.
Okay.
So it would just run out after a while.
That's really funny.
I don't know.
I kind of feel like I should... I guess I'll see what they do, but I should probably delete these units and build anti-air. I can probably actually delete some workers.
We've had a lot of... I think we've had a lot of fun with just the way music and whatever is loaded into CDs over the years, especially as like stuff stops being specifically made to facilitate CD use.
Yeah.
It used to be, I don't know if it still is, but like, you don't really have game discs anymore for a lot of things that have all the data on them.
Yeah.
But I know that like, well, it's actually specifically Age of Empires 2, you could just play the game disc in a disc player, and it would play all of the music, like, directly that way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So you had, like, 2.5 hours, I think, of different tracks, and a lot of it was just incidental sounds.
All my infantry got decimated.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Maybe you can't just build infantry and win.
Mark, this seems like nonsense.
I don't know what to do if I can't only build infantry and win. I guess I just need a lot more infantry?
I guess, theoretically. So you downloaded Half-Life 2, right, on Steam?
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
So why exactly did this happen? Did you get the CD and then they just gave you like a Steam key, essentially, or...?
So, yeah, I mean, you guys probably know that, Half-Life is owned by Steam?
By Valve.
By Valve? The people who made Steam. So basically I bought the orange box back when that was like a thing, but like never actually played any of the games. Wow, they have a lot of stuff. So never actually like played any of the games. So finally I decided I would go and play through Half-Life 1. I also have Half-Life 2, but I haven't played through it yet. And the game was programmed to run music off of the CD that was in the disc. And so I just happened to have... It was... oh crap, who was it?
It was Creedence Clearwater Revival, you said.
Yes.
So you had a disc,
which is like the best one.
Clearwater Revival Best Hits or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just auto plays.
Yeah, so it just auto plays while you're in game.
Was it all the time, or was it just like during cinematics though?
It was all the time. But it was only like specific. So it was like designed to play specific themes at specific times.
Oh, so it would like pull from different parts of from different like time stamps on the disc or something?
Yeah, so it pulled and played different songs depending on what it was supposed to play. But they were always really random things that didn't actually make sense in the context.
How long did it take you to figure out that it was like not actually supposed to be Creedence Clearwater Revival?
It took a long time. I did not know that it was not supposed to be Clearwater Creedence Revival. So essentially, like, what happened is that the first song like, it didn't seem obvious to me that it was ridiculous that was the song that was supposed to play. Because the game starts off as like sort of a almost montage of you going through the complex of Half-Life.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first song in Clearwater Creed Survival, I would argue Clearwater Creed Survival almost in general, just kind of lends itself well, I guess, to that kind of theme.
What song was it?
I think it was Going Down the River or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So like it was very appropriate.
I mean, I guess they're all pretty. A lot of them are pretty similar in sort of mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, your economy obviously blew them out of the water. Economy is pretty much everything, right?
Most of the time. I only got 56% of the research though.
Okay. Well, this was an interesting look. I think I definitely prefer the Gungan architecture.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Empire is a bit austere.
What did you think of the rebels and the droids? Weird, also. We also saw the rebels. We didn't look that much at the rebels because they were my allies.
Right. Naboo was odds, but yeah, it's what I don't know. You kind of have to flesh out somehow. There isn't really a lot of military force or societal thing really shown within the Star Wars movies that gives you that much of an indication of what a force would look like from any of these factions.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So the only one we didn't see is the Confederacy, which I would guess is very similar to the Galactic Empire. So
Right.
I don't think we really have to see it. Gungan's definitely my favorite.
Hmm. Yep. Everyone's favorite.
Well, if you guys are lucky, you'll get to see more Galactic Battlegrounds at some point. Maybe I'll play through the campaigns. That could be fun.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep, we'll catch you next time. We're gonna probably continue on with Smell for Me and The Messenger as our main stuff. It feels like it's good to do them both at the same time.
Yeah, gives us a break.
We get... The Smile for Me is kind of heavy thinking sometimes.
Yeah.
And The Messenger can be frustrating.
Yeah, especially for me.
Yeah, so we'll probably switch on and off on playing through that. Mark is... you and your brother and MJ are kind of back on track with sort of the release schedule of your podcast.
Yep. Check it out. We're the Next Level Gaming Podcast.
They're playing Guacamelee 2.
Yep, it's fun. Just check it out.
I'm playing it as well, but I'm not on the podcast most of the time.
Yep.
See you around.
Bye.
Have fun.